Hey, shalom, shalom. Following this show. Welcome again to the ride. Oh, well, actually, I'm not on the ride, but anyways, the Purge. Um, Illinois has well, start of next year, 2023. They're gonna have what is called a Safety Act, and all in all, what it means is this law is going to basically get rid of cash bail. What does that mean? Well, if they don't have basically a pre-trial within the first 48 hours, and you can look into that, people that are arrested for things like kidnapping and burglary and second-degree murder and drug-induced homicide and robbery, was it robbery, burglary, kidnapping, drug-related offenses, okay, they're going to be released back to the public as long as it can be proven that they are not a threat to a specific person. I'm going to post a link in the description of this video. And this is a good idea. This is what they call a good idea. They're going to be releasing people who are arrested for crimes like kidnapping. One, what I believe is going to happen is you're going to have Batman emerge. Batman is going to Illinois because you're going to see a lot of vigilantes out there. You're going to see people that get arrested and released are going to, people are going to take actions in their own hands. Number two, you're going to see people that are arrested and released possibly go after witnesses that could convict them, that could point them out in a lineup. You see, and many other things, but this is just another. How is this safe? This is just another step in the wrong direction. This is just another destructive measure that is being pushed in Illinois, and we know which way Illinois leans. Think of Chicago. Think of what's going to happen in Chicago. See, these cities, and now it's these states, states that are changing things drastically. We already have it in the Pacific Northwest. We have Portland, which is turning into a hellhole. Now you're going to have the whole state of Illinois turning into a hellhole. California's already turning into a hellhole. New York has gone the pathway of a hellhole. New York City, and a lot of other larger states are turning into hellholes. Along with this, I read an article that said that 25%, and now this was in June, and now they're saying up to 1/3 of adults are living with an older family member. They're living in the house. They moved home with an older family member. That'd be like some living with their parents or moving with their older uncle or their older auntie, but people are moving home in droves, and a large proportion of that number is women. Women are being forced to move back home with mama, being forced to move back home with auntie. I'm not mentioning any men because usually women don't move home with their father, they move home with their mama or their aunties. So we have a societal breakdown. We're in a time where people can't afford to pay rent. We're in a time where states are literally saying, hey, if you get arrested, we're going to release you as long as it's not too bad. Just here, take this sheet of paper and promise to return to court on your court date, okay? This is brilliant. If you want to see evidence that the country is going into the absolute dismal abyss, here's another sign. When states are passing these laws, when 1/3 of adults are being forced to move back home because they can't afford to pay rent and food and electric bills, and what this is going to cause and a lot of the older people that are on fixed incomes, well, now they're forced to take care of their 29-year-old daughter 29-year-old son who's going to sleep in the basement and probably get a job at Taco Bell. This is what's happening. And, I said it many times, come out of her, my people. That's what the book says. The Bible says, a term that Pastor Joe Fox coined. Come out of these cities, come out of this system. Not just come out of the cities, come out of this religion. This traditional westernized Roman Christian religion, where they feed you a bunch of bullshit and then tell you to pay your pastor so that he could go on another vacation, so that he could buy a new vehicle, so that he could, this traditional westernized bullshit that masquerades as religion, that masquerades as the will of Yah. Just because people hold the Bible doesn't mean that they're doing it. In fact, the fact that somebody's holding the Bible should clearly tell you that they're probably trying to scam you. And this is coming from somebody that believes and lives this book. See, when you live the book, you don't have to run around with the Bible on your forehead trying to convince people that you read the Bible. Just look at the book of Eli. People are starting to understand. A lot of these religious leaders understand that the Bible is a weapon that you can use to demonetize people. You can use to justify your e-begging. You can justify, people taking power from you, authority from you, preeminence over you. The slave masters use it on the slaves. All throughout history in the transatlantic slave trade in this country, they convinced the slave owners convinced the slaves to not run, to serve their masters by using the Bible. See, there's a shift that's taking place and people don't understand it. People are falling right into it. Things and places are becoming way more dangerous than they've ever become before. And you throw in the fact that we are fastly approaching a famine. What I mean by famine, I don't mean that there's going to be, and all the famines throughout time, people survived famines. Throughout droughts, people survive droughts. But the reality of it is famines and droughts, people do die for malnutrition. People do die for a lack of food. People do die for a lack of water. People do die in these situations. The scarcity is coming based on many things, based on a lack of income. People are not going to be able to afford to buy the things they are accustomed to or eat as much as they used to. Time is coming. A shift is happening. And you can understand the powers that be. It's almost like they're loosening up on terrible, terrible ideas. We're just gonna, no cash bail. We're just gonna release everybody. When you could go through and you could reform the whole prison system. You could reform the whole, no, they ain't gonna do that. What they're gonna do is they're gonna continually do things that are gonna cause society to react worse and worse. And that's what's happening. They're constantly doing small. They're shipping money overseas. They're not putting that money back to the infrastructure in this country. They're jacking up electric prices, and then they want you to be excited because they took down the price of gas, 75 cents a dollar. After they've already, cleaned everybody's pocketbook out. Now it's like, okay, let's give something back to the people. And then when they give you, 50 cents off your gas bill, for your fuel for your car, they want you to applaud them. Meanwhile, they just took $80, $90 from the electric bill, 20% more inflation on your food, taxing you half to death. More regulations. Oh, how about the fact that Visa said that they're gonna put a different category for your firearm purchases, for your ammo purchases, for any gun-related purchases. So while on one hand they want you to applaud them, on the other hand they're like, well, we're taking these for you. We'll give you this, but we're gonna take all this over here. Come out of her. Live a quiet, peaceful, separate life. Because when things are affected in major areas, they're not going to affect you as bad. Read the story of the 12 tribes and how the 11 became enslaved in Egypt. It's in the book of Jasher. Read and how they were enslaved. They all wanted to play the systems game. They went into Pithom and Ramses and to build the cities for Pharaoh. And Levi stood on the outside and said, we ain't going in. And what was the result? Levi sat out there free. And Pharaoh knew he was out there and didn't go after him. I believe a lot of these same ideas are coming today. They're forcing people into these cities. They're jamming people in the cities. They're making it nearly impossible for you to afford to live. They're telling you you're going to live a very uncomfortable life if you leave these metropolitan reservations. I call them reservations. You're going to live a very, very uncomfortable life. So just go ahead and move back to Chicago and Dallas, and Denver, and Atlanta. And go ahead and move back to your major city. We'll take care of you. That's what you got. People would rather be taken care of. They have the responsibility of taking care of themselves. Sorry for the digression. I'm going to end this video. Illinois. Yikes. Wow. What are they going to be saying next? Purge and purify? Shalom.